Good morning, good afternoon, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Patrick Storch. I am with the Core Coaching Group, and I have been in the Core Coaching Group for 10 years, and I've been a coach now for 5 years. And I'm excited and honored to interview one of my previous students who really impressed me last semester. And it's about how do you get it all done and be a top producer. First off, what's a top producer nowadays? I mean, the average loan officer is closing 1 to 2 deals a month. Okay. So anything above that, we're going to call you a top producer in this market right now. It's been tough for everybody. So my boy James here, he closed about 80 units last year, 25, 30 million. He's doing 6, 7 loans a month. And what impressed me the most with him, especially in December, I don't know how many events he went to. Juggling his personal life and showing up big on all our calls, showing up to our summits. And I just needed to hear from James how he gets it all done. James, tell me a little bit about yourself, brother. What makes you tick?
Oh, well, first and foremost, I got to give you honor and just thank you so much for being an awesome coach and pushing me. That last semester was one of the best semesters for me. And also, the semester before that was one of the hardest semesters for me. So just having you to help push me was amazing. But as far as getting it all done, I think one of the biggest shifts for me was just making sure that I just showed up big in every moment, whatever that moment was. So, if it's, breakfast with my kids, I'm 100% dialed in on that. So I don't feel guilty in any way about what I'm doing. Same thing when I get to the office, team meetings. Am I giving 100%? Am I looking for opportunities? Am I just figuring out ways to 10x everything that I'm in, no matter what it is I'm doing, whatever that block may be? But scheduling and timing and all of that's really a big part of my day. Here's my day at a glance. I got a week at a glance. All of that's a big part, and I could not do it without my amazing LP1 Jackie, who just absolutely keeps me on task and basically runs my life.
That's awesome. Yeah. And in the very beginning, when me and James met and he started coaching, there was a little period there where James was thinking about not being coached. James, was it a good decision to stay in?
Yeah, I was going through a lot. Obviously, my production was way off. I mean, I was closing, a couple loads a month, 3 here. I was like, this is terrible. I got to get my life together. Trying to figure out how to juggle the kids. And I'm like, you know what? I need to take a break from coaching and etc. And I talked to you. I talked to Rick. And a bunch of other people. And the ultimate thing was I had to work through it, and I had to rededicate myself to the task and to the work, which I did. And honestly, the last half of the year completely turned around, and that's the only reason why I did, even somewhat decent numbers. But I'm so thankful that I stuck around. I'm so thankful to Rick for pushing and believing me and prodding, and for you as well, saying, "Hey, listen, man, this is just a phase. We'll get through it." And uh, I don't hate the core in any way, shape, or form, but it was just that moment where I needed people that with sound judgment to give me sound advice.
Yeah, it's gosh, someone just quoted said James is a beast and a pro. I love it. He is. So James, I think coaching it holds the accountability. It's so important in our lives because us, we tend to drift. We drift if we don't have. We love being told what to do. Okay, and if I'm told what to do, I'll do it. Okay, and that sounds weird, but that's how our brains click, and we have to follow a schedule. And speaking of that, tell me about your calendar. How tight is your calendar as a top producer from when you wake up to when you go to bed?
Yeah, my calendar is pretty dialed. I mean, it's this is today, but I mean, I wake up. I'm up 4:30, 5 o'clock every morning. I start listening to Audible audiobook, then kids, getting them ready for school, then get to my workout, then get to the gym, then from the gym office and start knocking out my day. So, to be honest, the first 6 months of last year, I was not honoring all of those things. Those things were on my calendar, and I was like, dismiss, check. Jackie would be telling me, hey, go get it done. I'm like, yeah, I'll get it done next, and it's been just getting back to just rededicating myself to that and just being a slave to it. That's been the focus for me. So, human beings, I don't know if we like to think that because we are in sales and loan officers or realtors or whatever, that we do work when we want to do work, and we don't treat this like full-time jobs, right? And we have to, we really have to rededicate ourselves and say, hey, this is a 40, 50 hour a week job, and this is what I'm supposed to do. And if I don't do it, I'm stealing from my family. And that's been my mindset.
I love that. And you are definitely a family man. I know that. We had to shift some things around in the morning, I remember, because we still had to make sure you saw your kids in the morning and everything before you went and worked out, or before you got to the office. So definitely a family man, and that's super important for me. So let me ask you this. What keeps you tasked every day? Like, it's so difficult. And by the way, we're all broken. Everybody's broken in this group, and that's where we need each other. It holds us together. And when we start straying the wrong way, I know I can reach out to my coaches, I can reach out to my students, and we can reel ourselves back in. So how do you accomplish like all your theme days? In the core, we have theme days. Every single day, we have a plan of people to call. How do you get it all done, make all your calls, get home, be present for your wife and your kids? How do you get that done?
Honestly, I think mindset is everything. I think
Mindset.
mindset is everything. I come in again. I'm finding different ways to play games with myself to trick my mind into doing the work. Right, like, I just stole one from Rick the other day. Like, if you don't hit your pay log or you don't hit your whatever, I write myself a check. Like, I love that. And that way I know I owe. So I'm constantly doing things like that. One of the things I do, like, to distill it all the way down. We do that 1 year plan. We want to what our 2025 year wants, what we want it to look like, right? So at the end of the day, it's simple math, right? How many units equals so much pay, et cetera, et cetera. So I've taken that and I've literally put it everywhere. It's on my mirror. It's on my phone. It's on my desk. It's on there's a snack cabinet in my room. It's in there to stop me from eating the snacks, like all these different things, right? So that's kind of I just have to find different ways to just kind of keep myself on task and stay disciplined. And I'm not perfect. There are days that I do not get it all done, but my commitment is to at least get it done, right? And while I'm doing it, just give 100% maximum effort. So that's the play.
And how important is having a team behind you, James? Does that help you out? Did the core teach you to build a team to help you do the business that you're doing?
100%. I mean, you can't do it all on your own. And I think as A-type personalities, we definitely think that we can, but it's not the highest and best use of our time. And then there are, number one, and number two, there are other people that want to 10x their time and 10x their lives and use that, right? So it's almost selfish in my mind. This is another game I played. It's selfish in my mind to do their job, to stop them from blowing up to be what they want to be.
And let me ask you this. So building a team, like delegating, how was it to be able to decide what is James going to do and what am I going to delegate to my team so that I can be more productive? Because in the end, we're the front of this company. We have to be out in front of realtors. We have to bring the business in. We're in sales. Simple as that, okay? And we have to have. So tell me about that.
Well, Rick's real dialed on making sure that we're spending at least half of our day on money-making activities, right? So, anything that's outside of that, that falls on the team, So, I believe in who, not how, right? So I say, hey, I got the right person. They come to me. They'll ask me, should I? I'm like, I don't pay you to should. Like, you're a very capable individual. Figure it out. You know what to do. If I'm getting involved in shoulds, we're not making money, and now we got to figure it out. So I'm very much on like, listen, I'm grown, you're grown. Let's all get together and figure out a way to make this work.
That's it, and that's what we learn in the core. Before I got in the core, I worked hard, and I worked hard 24 hours a day, and that's what my dad taught me to do. But when I got in the core and I met Rick and I started being around all these high-level mortgage originators, I learned to work smart. Okay, and I'm not the best guy to look at a pay stub or a W-2 or something like that. You have good qualified teammates, and the core helps us build, helps us to hire, helps us to, hey, we had a hire and we built it up to a lot, and then we had to deconstruct. Okay, and now we're reconstructing again. So the coaching and the accountability with this core has been instrumental in my business, and I know your business too, James. What are some things get thrown at you all the time. What are like some non-negotiables for James? Like you're just going to get it done, and I'm sorry, it's done.
So, from a personal perspective, time with my family is super important. I gotta see my kids every morning. We work on curriculum, all that stuff, drop them off at school. My workout's important. Um, I think, my Tuesday date nights with my wife, that's a non-negotiable. That's every week, Tuesday.
Hold on right there, guys. We also, this is not all business, it's personal. We have mandatory date nights every single week with our spouse, significant other. I was talking with my wife this morning about, hey, we got to plan some things. We got to get some trips in. It's so important because we get so sucked into this business.
100%.
So, yeah.
And then number two, from a work perspective, I would say, theme days are definitely non-negotiable. Those are the basics that I was missing. I was kind of kicking to the side when things weren't going the way I wanted them to go. Absolutely non-negotiable. I spend a lot of time loving on my VIPs and my database. Those are things that actually kind of make me tick and really make me feel like I'm making a difference in life. So those I can't go. So when it comes to face-to-faces and break breads, like those are not a problem for me. It's sitting down and just being focused and making the calls that I'm supposed to make, right? So
and in our group, VIPs, very important people. We have a list of VIPs that we call every Friday. We don't call all of them on Friday, but our theme days are so important to. So it's funny you said something about people liking you or what. James's personal strength is people love James. James can talk to anybody, and there is no stranger in James's world. These are some notes that I took on my coaching of you, and that's true. Now, we were at the last summit, and we were sitting around, and we had a raffle. And in the raffle, you get to pick what coach you want for the next semester. And James won the raffle. And he looked at me, and what did you say?
I said, I think I want to choose Rick.
So James got his wish, and he's this semester being coached by Rick. Tell us how that's going, being coached by the GOAT of the mortgage industry.
Yeah, man. I obviously I want, like I said, the first half of last year did not go anywhere near the way I wanted. So I wanted this, and then the second semester started picking it up, and I'm like, I'm paying all this money, I'm spending all of this time, I'm doing all of this work. I might as well get the real deal, right? So that was my mindset behind it, and it's been great. We've had one call. Our second call is tomorrow, actually, and he is no nonsense. There are no excuses, no nothings. I mean, I've never been more afraid of getting fined in my life. Like I'm like emailing Victoria, like, hey, does that paperwork look okay? Like,
yeah, and we get fined for certain things if we don't do our homework. It holds us accountability, and it might be a monetary fine, but it also might be a fun fine. You might have to do push-ups, sit-ups, wash your spouse's car, go do stupid things, and it makes it fun, not just getting a fine.
But I'm used to being coached hard. I played sports, so I love being coached hard. It really brings the best out of me. So I'm all in for it, and I'm super super happy that I made that somewhat sober decision.
I've been coached by Rick before, and actually every other week I'm coached by Rick. The man's amazing. He really is. He's changed my life, my family's life, my business life. It's just an amazing group that until you really get into it and you know about it, it's changed so many lives. James, what would you like if there's one thing that you're working on or what for this year, if you can give some advice to some loan officers who are not doing a lot of business right now, because it's tough right now. We got 5 months of inventory in our market, and it's not as busy as it was. So what's some advice that you can give some loan officers for 2025? And our slogan is Thrive in 2025.
Sure. I think the biggest piece of advice I would probably give is just what I'm doing personally is my focus every day. I picked a word for the year. My word for the year is unstoppable. And so whatever task it is I'm doing, I'm constantly thinking about how I can 10x whatever that is. So my VIPs, for example, I have 3 financial advisors that are part of my VIPs. I'm making the calls. I see them. I do things with them, but I need to take that even further, right? So I'm not stopping there. I'm just keeping going. So doing a cigar event with one, I'm doing a wine event with another, and I'm just building on it, and using that to use them to introduce me to other people, right? So I'm just trying to 10x every single thing I'm doing. So whatever it is, get super dialed on whatever that theme is for you that day or that month or whatever it is, and just take that to the next level. And the compounding effect, I think, is going to be amazing. I'm getting more referrals now from other lenders and other bankers because that was a focus. I decided to 10x that. I'm getting more referrals now from that just because I just said, hey, I'm going to sit down and focus on this today, and that's all I'm going to do. So that would be my focus. My
That's awesome. And 10x guys is where we need to be. We just can't do one more loan, make one more dollar. We got to 10x it this year. Okay, there's not as many people in the business. Realtors are struggling. They need us, experienced loan officers, to get the loan done. A lot of banks and whatnot are not getting things done. So that's what we're here for. So, James, man, again, honor. I love you, bro. I love hanging out with you, and it's true. Just there's no stranger in James's world. I wish the best for you this year. It's going to be a tough year for all of us. And if any of y'all out there are interested in coaching, please check out the Core Coaching. It's changed our lives. We've helped so many families. We make, save, and give. And Rick Ruby is just an amazing gentleman that has helped and truly cares about all of us. So check out the Core Coaching. James, I'll see you in a few months at the summit.
Yes,
and if
sir.
you guys have any questions, you can always reach out to me and James. But thanks for tuning in today. Really appreciate it.
Love you, brother. Take care.